Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Josh. It's my co-host Diego on my right through the screen, probably on your right as well. Um, Welcome back. It's been a minute, meaning 1 week. So finally, almost a month to go until the NBA season. We are jumping into the top 10 players. Are you so excited for this or what, Diego?
I'm excited for the NBA season. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for everything. Things are warming up. It's going to be great. Great new season. Who knows where it's going to lead? Season 2 of the podcast. Let's do it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. You could hear how much excitement he has in his voice. I am super excited as well. Um,
Is there?
it should be fun. It should be fun. I don't know where the Bulls are headed. I don't know how they're gonna do. But frankly, I don't care because there's so many good teams that it's always, especially in the West, should be a fun discussion. Um, all right, so we'll jump right into it. My number 10 guy is a first timer making it on this list. At times, he's flirted as a top three player. He's been the best player in the NBA last season. Um, just an incredible leader. Like just the amount of stuff he's able to do on the court as a two-way player. Swept as idol in the playoffs. That's unbelievable. Like welcome to the playoffs, my guy. Averaged 26 points almost, 5.4 rebounds, 5.1 assists, 46.1 from field goal range, and from three-point land he was 35.7. It's not a huge adjustment from what he's been doing, but I think the huge adjustment you see in him, like it's just the gravitas he has of lifting the other players around. You could see the leadership and the effect that his numbers have on the team. His numbers felt more impactful this season, even though they're around the same amount. And for me, impact is what makes you join this list up top. So welcome to the top 10, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. I like it. Like you said, young player who's really grown to his own. I really like the confidence from him. And I think it's scary just because he's this good, yet he's not necessarily a great passer. There's a lot of turnovers he had in the playoffs, but also like the first time he makes the deep playoff run, really making a name for himself in a lot of huge games and going farther than I think anyone expected. I don't think a lot of people thought they were going to beat the Nuggets, even though they're kind of built to do that. Very very great year for him, and I think he only gets better from here. And another year with everyone, most of the team together. You lose Kyle Anderson, but I think I think it's good for them, and they also get one of the best players to be in the draft. Tanner Shannon Jr. So that can only help.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a guy that's posterizing people in the playoffs, second
Yeah,
round, third round, that is something. It's very easy to posterize somebody in the preseason as an NBA player. And I know I'm being
yeah,
facetious in saying that because I can't dunk personally, but I mean, as a baseline NBA player, most of them can dunk and
yeah.
dunk on people. That's very common because when you're
Hmm.
testing out concepts and you got teams and binds where like you can get a wide open dunk, it's common. But this guy is going off the fast break, testing people, testing bigs, no matter who they are, and he's taking it to. He took it to KD. He doesn't care who's on the opposite side of him. I think for me, the part in this game where he might have to adjust is like when teams are like solely focused on him. Because
Yeah.
there's been times where he's been completely like shut out of the game, and the Wolves
Hmm.
can't do nothing. Um, I think if I were him, I would need to have more off-ball impact, and that's maybe why he's lower on this list. But him with the ball in his hands is a top five player in the league. Like you he can't, and plus the stuff he does not there's so many games where he closed out blocks, made defensive stands, like just an amazing two-way player.
Yeah. Um, I guess you saying that sometimes when the defense really clamps down on him, he can't do much. Made me think of the Mavs. All kind of gentleman sweeping them a little bit. Uh,
You just had to
just
bring that up, did you?
made me happy. Made me very happy. You did bring you made me bring it up with what you said. So, anywho,
All right.
number 10 on my end. This guy, 24.8 points a game, 6.4 assists, 4.7 rebounds, 47.3% overall, 42.6% from deep. Not surprising once I say his name. a 36-year-old. I don't want to say the first one because it's so obvious. I'll leave it for last. Strong finisher, handle out of this world, infinite movement off the ball, neutral defender, and also the greatest shooter of all time, Stephen Wardell Curry. At number 10, I know it's a bit low, some might say, for him, but one thing, and it's gonna be a big theme in these next five. I think to go back to my criteria is best. Who could be the best player on a championship team right now? So that's why age is kind of a factor here. But right, Steph Curry is all-time gravity. This guy, I don't know, he dropped 50 points in a playoff game, and it was in a playoff game, in Game 7 last year in 2023. This man is just something different, and I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do with them this year. You have a new lineup with I think Buddy Hield's on the team, Kyle Anderson. Is it DeAnthony Melton? I think DeAnthony Melton, who if his back is okay, could be a factor here. Draymond being Draymond, I think we brought up a bunch of times if Draymond isn't stupid, they could have been farther up in the playoff race. So we'll see what happens there. So very exciting guy here.
I don't think you ranked him low. In fact, he is my number 9 guy.
Really?
Yeah, that means you are officially right. He has to be at that spot every time.
Yes.
But
Yep.
no, I think the things you mentioned about him in the regular season is valid.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a down year, but he's the only guy in the NBA you worry about when he doesn't have the ball. Like LeBron specifically said this on his podcast. And when you watch him play, I agree with him because you just have to be like a caffeine junkie and a great defender to guard Steph Curry 94 feet
Yeah.
with or without the ball because he's so quick. He moves so much. The scheme is built around him to fly open. I've seen so many times where he'll just like go out of bounds and then next second he's just like curling around either corner of the three. There's a nice play where sometimes they'll have him run from the baseline up to the top of the key and kind of close like the path for the defender to catch up to him
And
by having like two
yeah.
bigs like set screens
The elevated
facing the
screen.
basket, but like it's completely wide open for Steph to shoot that three. I've seen him launch it for the parking lot like Dame. I've seen him just break down people off the dribble, step back, sidestep. Doesn't matter if it's 3 or mid range. I've seen him do quick floaters. He is just a really, really quick player and deadly accurate that nobody has a chance. When you can shoot over Wemby with that kind of
Yeah.
speed, everybody's cooked. I think the
Oh,
thing
it's
with him
nice.
is now it's about the other players. There's lesser talented players around him than there was before.
Mm-hmm.
So can
Oh,
you
yeah.
uplift them? Like, can you step up your game in that front? That's why I have him lower than the other guys. But he by
Yeah.
himself as a talent, better than LeBron as a shooter.
Oh,
Better than LeBron as like a quickness type player. Even though LeBron's explosive, he's a very explosive player on the defensive end. Steph is quicker. Steph is much quicker. Like I
yeah,
would
I can see
I would
that.
trust LeBron on an island versus Steph, but I wouldn't trust anybody really except maybe Wembanyama because he has the length to
Prime
make up the
Wemby.
gap that Steph is inevitably gonna produce.
Yeah.
So
Um,
to me, he's at number 9, but it's not because of his skill set. It's because of what he can do to the players around him at his age right now.
yeah. I mean, like I said, ultimate gravity guy. So that's big. Yeah, I'm ready to go on to number 9 though.
Go ahead.
25.7 points per game, 8.3 assists, 7.3 rebounds, 54% from the floor, 41% from deep. Kind of surprising. He's 39 years old. Freight train while driving. Einstein, basketball IQ, Hall of Fame passer, neutral defender, and some might say, some as in me, the GOAT, because I have his I have his USA jersey here, not in my room, but not in my office.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
Yes, is LeBron James. Just the GOAT, in my opinion. He's here because obviously he's 39. I mean, I feel like he could still. I think him as even a second option could easily win a championship. Third option, like I think his career could just keep going for the next 5. Like he could win a championship as a guy on the bench and be a huge factor because like he's still My man dropped 25.7 points a game. Just any night you can pencil him for 25 points easily as a 39-year-old. And not just the longevity, just I don't know, the passing. The passing this guy has just has me in another world. Josh is just like, what is my dude? The glazing. And I don't care, man. This guy's
It's
I
too
just
much,
love it.
man. It's too
I
much.
love it, dog.
It's too graphic for our viewers.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the 41% from deep is kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting that, but I think I
It's the
don't
best in
know.
his
Like,
career. Did you know that? That's the best. That's the
it's
best shooting percentage in his career from deep.
yeah. No, it's pretty good, and I just think it's so I won't say annoying, but it's just like how could you mess this up as the Lakers? Like, you had your chance, you win the title in 2020. The things don't go as well in 2021, and then you get Westbrook, and since then you were kind of recovering from that. You make it to the Western Conference Finals with Darvin Ham, and it's just it feels like the Lakers have been in limbo when I feel like it's just a simple strategy of LeBron, AD, guys who can shoot and play it and hit threes. That's it. So also a man that was a center. This guy, I think in that 2021 year, was listed at center. This dude has played every position at such a high level in the NBA. That's it. That's all I have. Oh, just for everyone else's ears to just relax.
My number 8 guy is the number 2 player of all time in the history of the NBA,
Jeez.
and it's also LeBron
Let's
James.
go, LeBron.
And that is not a crime, folks. I put him at number 8 at age 39. I'm not doing that
Yeah,
with regular people at age
yeah,
39, okay? This guy is absolutely phenomenal as a basketball athlete. He's still dunking on people. He's still going full steam ahead, full court on people,
hmm
outrunning people, chase down blocks at his age, which is incredibly impressive.
yeah.
Um, the big thing for me is the 3-point shooting and the amount of games he played at his age was just highly impressive because you don't see
hmm
the 3-point stats that he's had. And he played 71 games this year. That's
That's
insane.
insane.
It's insane, dude. And like at your age, the durability that he's had throughout like the Eastern Conference Finals run is not talked about enough.
Yeah.
Um, the competition, on the other hand, is something to gloat, but I'm not going to go there. Not today. I'm going to give LeBron his flowers for having a
Really.
phenomenal season. With the Lakers, I don't think it's been his fault. I really don't. Like, he's going to put up 25 points regardless. Anthony Davis is going to do the same thing when he's on. The key thing is how they use Anthony Davis and LeBron with the rest of the team.
hmm
Because AD was the power forward, I think, when they won the championship. And
Yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever reason, they just made him the center ever since. It's like, okay, we could survive with that. No,
yeah.
no, your difference making on the team is the fact that you have LeBron and AD. Add an actual center and make it unfair to guard like guys that are like 6'11 and above, and 3 of
Mhm.
them on the same roster that can do anything on the court. That that is where your true value is, and that's not a knock on LeBron at all.
No, yeah.
Where I think LeBron can be better is the micro moments. I've always criticized the way he's closed out games. He's gotten a lot better at that late in his career. But there's times where he's still complaining about calls, and it's cost his team possessions and points in playoff games where every possession matters. Um, I can remember the Celtics game. I can remember one game against the Nuggets.
It's so
Like
funny. Yeah.
you need, you can't do that. You're too old. You're too inexperienced to be able to do that. To like still be doing that. You should understand the game by now. These refs are not going to bow to your will at this point. So, um, just have to put LeBron above Steph because he's accomplished much more. Um, had such a long career, but just a phenomenal player. I can't say
Yeah.
more. What do you want me to say, Diego? I said all I
I'm
said.
fine. I'm fine with it. Yeah. I guess the only thing I don't know. So obviously I don't work anywhere near the Lakers. I live in Detroit, nowhere near LA. But I feel like he wanted Russ on the team, on the Lakers, and like I didn't get it. No one got it, and it made sense what happened. So, yeah. But that's that. I'm ready for my number 8, my Kobe position. Not
Go
actually,
ahead.
but
Who's
just
who's your Kobe number?
25.9 points per game, 5.1 assists, 5.4 rebounds, 46.1% from the field, 35.7. Kind of surprising because his shot is kind of weird from deep. The youngest guy in the top 10 made it obvious. World class shooting guard, I will say. Willing and great defender. That's something I like. All world athleticism. And like I said earlier, needs to improve his distribution ball handling. It's Anthony Edwards. Now, again, kind of weird, right? Why would you put LeBron James over Steph or not LeBron James and over LeBron and Steph Curry? That one, looking back on it now, I feel a bit bad about it. But I just think I'm looking a bit too far as well for like potential that I have no idea where he's going. And I'm not saying right now he's better than LeBron and Curry, but I think where he's going is going to be really, really amazing if he's already doing this kind of stuff and being the guy on a Western Conference Finals team at 22 and making these kind of shots. Like the cojones factor is out of this world. My man is just very interesting. But I will agree, kind of a weird pick.
I would judge you for it, but I have other players in similar boats around
Yeah.
this range. I didn't think it was a bad selection here. I think people need to take into account of what he does on film is right, like the impact on this. Because take Anthony Edwards out, the Timberwolves are not. They're probably sniffing the play in that
They just
roster
don't have that guy.
because
He
they went to
is
the.
their guy.
They had. He's their guy. He makes
Mhm.
Karl Anthony Towns a lethal
Yeah.
weapon in his own right. He makes all those wing guys they got lethal
Mhm.
weapons in their own right. He makes the fact that they have Rudy Gobert like a nice to have luxury defensive ace. If you
Mhm.
just had Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, where's your offense? You don't have
Yeah.
any if you're the Timberwolves. That is he he's the spark plug that like magnifies what this team could do. He's exuded confidence in his teammates. I think the impact on the team has been like tremendous. If you take Steph out, I still feel confident in the team because Draymond has the IQ to put guys in positions to do well.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
can
taken me
see
a
that.
while to come to that conclusion. Anthony Davis, we've seen him dominate without LeBron. That is the issue. Like to me, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards' impact has been greater. So I see your argument for doing that from this
Mhm.
past season. But I have him on lower on the list because of the accolades. I have to give them the
Yeah.
accolade and the fact that I don't know if Anthony Edwards can do this at 39 because a
No,
lot of
it's
his
true.
game relies on athleticism. I don't know if he has the shooting capability that Steph has, like
Mhm.
at his age, respectively. Like he's a good when he can hit it from deep, but not
Yeah.
Steph's a different cat, man. But I don't for the way you're looking at it, I don't I don't fault to that argument.
Yeah. I think one thing I really like is just the ability, the will to play defense. 'Cause I think for a while people were unsure, especially when he was drafted, like, does he want to put the work in his game? And like that, I think it was against the Indiana Pacers, if I'm remembering right. It might have been in March. Um, that one play where he misses the free throw, and you're like, oh, like end of the game, and you're like, man, he just screwed up. How do you miss that free throw? Pacers go on the break. My man's like, I'm like usually someone will be like, oh man, I messed up. That sucks. I just lost the game. But he's like, no. He locks in, sprints across the court, and chase down like crazy athleticism, chase down block. Looks like you're about to like injure yourself with how athletic that was. Like that kind of play
I
is
think
something that really endears me.
he
Yeah,
hit his head on like the
yeah,
back of the backboard or something.
yeah. Like that kind of stuff really impresses me. So that's another reason I have him on here. Just the will to play defense. I'm not saying no one has the will to play defense, but in an era so dominated by offense, it's refreshing to see a dude who's like, yeah, I will be a great defender and be that that offense the guy offensively and like all the comparisons of him to Jordan. Like obviously, no, he's his own player. He's not Jordan, but all like the two-way vibe. Like you can't deny it, and I like it. I'm here for it. So yeah, that's
It's
that.
fair, man. Um, to me, I have a guy that's put up better defensive stats than Anthony Edwards. Um,
Mhm.
led his team to a really high seed last season. Um,
Yeah,
another young player, always been underrated throughout his career.
Okay.
trade commodities. He has been the headline of the major
Yeah.
trade, but it's worked out for this team. The amount of youth they have on this team is ridiculous. Like they have first round picks for days. But this
Mhm.
guy he can score at will now,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter who you have on him. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is
Mm.
my pick at number 7.
Interesting.
30.1 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 53.5 field goal percentage.
Yeah.
Like in the postseason, his 3-point percentage increased by basic no 8.1%. Like he went from 35 to
Shit.
43.
That's
Just an
nuts.
incredible player. He can do it all. He is the spark plug that guides the OKC Thunder. Um, and again, his impact, just like Anthony Edwards, has been tremendous. But he's led this
Mhm.
seed. Um, and the only reason they bowed out to the Dallas Mavericks is none of the other guys stepped up when they needed to.
Yeah.
Um, so
Okay,
yeah,
dope.
number pick at 7.
No, I like it. I have him in next week's episode, but um, yeah, I think a big thing for him, again, a thing I like as well is the way he plays defense. Me like being a Mavs fan and with the kind of MVP, uh, I guess discourse over the year, like I'd be like, oh, like Shea doesn't play any defense. He has to guard like the third best player on the other team because you have Lou Dort, you have J Dub, you have Chet Holmgren. That's so much better than what Luca has to do, and so that's why he looks better. But I mean, he uses his abilities. Like he doesn't. He's 6'6", right? That's not small, but a big guy can post him up, and they would do that. And he doesn't let that happen because he has crazy length. That's one thing, and I think something that also endears me to him is just the mid range, the killer mid range. Some of those shots he hit against the Mavs, like over the backboard, crazy angles. This guy knows his game, and I feel like he's just very smooth with it as well. And I like how he's on the Thunder because I mean, not that the Clippers overlooked him, but I mean, I didn't even know he was on the Clippers when he was on the Clippers. Like he was that kind of low key. Like you kind of heard the name around him, like who is that guy? And now he is that guy in Oklahoma, and really it led them to the 1 seed as a really young team. I'm looking at it now. He's 26. He's so young, not like
That trade
barely
looked
entering his
really,
prime.
really bad for the Clippers. And I was a fan of Paul George and Kawhi teaming up.
Yeah,
But that
yeah,
trade looks really, really bad for them right now.
looks
Because they
terrible.
gave up so much of depth and Shea. And that's just sad to see.
Yeah,
That's the kind of player. He made the Clippers regret this trade.
yeah,
they thought they were getting a steal when they paired up Paul George with that trade. That's why they made it. And
it's tough, man.
it happened, dude.
Never
Who's
gonna
lucky number
forget.
7?
Who's mine? This man, he he actually averaged the most points per game at 34.7, 5.6 assists, 11 rebounds, 52.9% overall, 38.8 from 3 points. He's 30 years old, which I'll never. That just sounds completely wrong to me. But three-level scoring center, defensive maker, a 7-footer, but crazily injury prone. We all know who I'm talking about. Troel, Embiid. Um, he was like numbers wise, he was a scoring leader, but he didn't reach the minimum number of games, so it didn't count. Um, I put him here just because, like, I think the skill set he has is so just special and unique that I like. Jokic is a great player too, and he can score however he wants. But just the way Embiid is just able to do it, it's just so different. And yeah, like it definitely gives more a ball of like Embiid will jump and flop around, and that's not. I don't love watching it, but like, what am I gonna do? Like
Dirty
the
player.
system, huh?
He's a dirty player.
Yeah, like
Mitchell
it's tough.
Robinson will attest to that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, I just think he's just got a special game, and if he didn't do that, I feel like we would all enjoy him a lot more. And I'm happy that he got an MVP just because I think we've talked about this before. If he didn't get that MVP last year, if I in 20 years tell my kids about Joel Embiid, they would have been like, "Who is that? That dude's probably a bum." And yeah, they might still say that, but I'll be able to say he had an MVP. And I even say this as a guy I will actively say that during the season. Like my dude is flopping around like a fish, but I can appreciate that this man has put in the work to be an MVP. That if nothing else happens for the Sixers, which I'm not against them winning a championship or whatnot, as long as the Mavs do, but like the that MVP is a culmination for the Sixers. That at least they got something out of it. They got a guy who was an MVP from the process. So yeah, that's that.
Phenomenal talent, man. Phenomenal talent. I have him, and he'll be discussed later. But he's just so good, so good. The one caveat with him is injuries, and I don't
Yeah.
really look at this list with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it depends. Like if I see it significantly impact, but like every time he's come back, he's been amazing. The only time he's not been himself was the next game, and that's because he tried to rush it. So he wasn't
Yeah.
really bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but this guy, top of the line player, absolutely phenomenal. I think I have him higher because I think this season he's about to really show what you can do. Like, you think Saquon on the Eagles is like tearing it up right now? Wait till you see Joel Embiid with Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. Like, he's gonna be
Yeah.
borderline unguardable, and he pretty much is right now. But it's just gonna be an even better situation. My number 6 guy, NBA champion, NBA champion. Um, absolutely phenomenally. Like 3-level scorer as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
has some nice tweeners between the legs, step backs. 26.9 points a game, 8.1 rebounds, 4.9 assists. I would like to see that number up a bit, but given this play style, I don't mind it. 47.1 field goal percentage. Um, just unbelievable score, despite being on a stacked team. Jason Tatum, welcome to being number
Yep.
6 on this list.
Pretty valid. I I like it. I'm not opposed to where he is, and I don't know if we want to move fast, but I also have him here at 6.
Okay,
Um,
go
he's
ahead.
my description. I mean, you've already said a lot of the stats, but my point forward, especially after this playoff, this finals run, you kind of see that. That's something I didn't really appreciate. Elite distribution, like I just said, plus defender, good shooter, iffy shot selection at times. I mean, we talked about that one like wired segment of the finals where he's like, "Yo, guys, we can't just get stuck on shooting step back threes," and then I just instantly think of him like hitting a step back or not hitting, shooting a step back three and missing it. And we talked about all of that, but he's a great player. I know like the discourse has kind of gotten really sour on him because like Celtics fans are like he's an MVP, but and like I don't think he is because it's really hard to see that with such a stacked team around him. But no, he's a great player, and I mean, there's so many stats that he's like already leading, like in playoff minutes and like playoff scoring of in recent years, because he's just since his rookie year, he's been in the playoffs and gone pretty far almost every time. So, and yeah, I'm happy they won a championship. I think they needed it sort of as a finally get
They
over
had
the
they
hump.
had to win it that year. They had
Yeah,
to.
I mean,
They should have beat the Warriors, but
mhm,
they played unlike themselves. They played
yeah,
selfish, but it was unlike themselves that entire season. I've repeatedly said it. And then they dug their own grave against the Heat. I'll repeat
oh
like
yeah,
they just they should have they could have had 3 championships in that span. But credit to them, they won one.
uh,
That matters. That matters.
I don't know about against the Nuggets last year. That would have been like a series. And if we
They
had
didn't give
a
themselves
matchup,
that opportunity though because they dug
oh yeah,
themselves such a hole. You
oh
don't know how that
definitely,
series of the Heat will turn out. Like they could have won that in 5 or 6 if they just
yeah, no,
came to play and had backup plans. And it was the same way they lost to the Warriors. But we're talking about
yeah,
Jason Tatum at 6 here. Phenomenal player, phenomenal talent. I think
yeah.
he's matured a lot. He showed me a
Hmm.
lot this season, despite like his stats remaining largely the same. Um, yeah. Next week,
Interesting.
guys. Top 5. You finally see the top 5 list.
Oh,
Diego kind of put some spoilers up, but I think it should be fine. Most of it's going to be consistent for the large part of like who's going to be there. You guys can probably
yeah.
guess who it is, but excited to hear your thoughts on what you think of these lists. And yeah, comment below. do you think these rankings are fair between the two of us, or would you have it differently? Follow us on our
I think
Instagram
they're
page.
fair.
I'm on that 8 out
Okay.
mission. A lot of downtime on my hands.
Cool.
Now I got a TV and TV stand, so I can double my work. Do some work on the laptop here. Um,
Nice.
get those wheels churning. On our YouTube channel, I'm on a mission. 3 separate words. You can find all of our podcast episodes full length. So yeah, until then, see you next week. Excited about our top 5 coming up.
Yes, sir. Peace
Peace.
out. Have a good week.